Sunday, Ukraine launched what is being described as the heaviest attack on Russia in a year. Today, Belarus announces that it has begun training exercises with Russian nuclear weapons, and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announces the second extension of the waiver on Russian oil sales. I'm Sophia Marie, a graduate of Georgetown and Oxford. Let's get into news of the region. If you're new here, make sure to like, follow, and repost if possible. I do this entirely by myself, and trying to gain an audience. I think it's really important to have just really objective news on what's going on in the East European, former Soviet space. So let's get into it. Okay, so the biggest news from this weekend: on Sunday, Ukraine launched what is being described as the largest attack on Russia for a year, striking Moscow and Belgorod. So Political reports that over the weekend, Ukraine launched 1,300 drones into Russia, hitting factories and oil refineries. Later on Sunday, in an afternoon video address, Zelensky made the statement on the significance of the attack, specifically in Moscow. Quote, "Moscow region is most heavily saturated with Russian air defense systems." Now, we know that on Friday, following a Russian strike on an apartment complex in Kyiv that killed 3 children, Zelensky promised this strong retribution, and it seems that over the weekend, this was it. Now, in other news, today, Belarus has announced that its armed forces have begun training exercises with Russian nuclear weapons. This is important at the moment. I reported just days ago about the post to Telegram that Zelensky did, where he claimed that Russia is trying to bring Belarus into an attack on either Ukraine or a NATO member state. Now, in a statement about this training exercise, Belarus's defense ministry claimed that the exercise was a scheduled event and therefore was not a cause of any immediate event which just happened. But Kyiv Independent gives a good background of the past 3 years, the relationship between Belarus and Russia. So in 2023, Russia announced the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus. In 2024, Russia and Belarus held joint nuclear drills, and then in 2025 last year, Russia delivered the Oreshnik, which is a nuclear-capable missile systems, to Belarus. Now, on the U.S.-Russian side, today, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the second extension of the waiver on Russian oil sales. Today was issued the new 30-day license to, quote, "provide the most vulnerable nations with the ability to temporarily access Russian oil currently stranded at sea." We know that Trump is seriously weighing more military strikes on Iran, obviously ending the ceasefire. Now, lastly, we've been following this cancellation of U.S. troops being sent to Poland. We know that many